What's up, my gorgeous geeks? It's Casshern here with a brand new video, and today we are going to be reviewing Casshern Sins. This is actually a reboot of the classic anime Casshern, produced by Tatsunoko and animated by Madhouse. This series actually completely disregards the continuity that was presented in the original series, where Casshern was actually supposed to be the cybernetic superhero battling the evil robotic forces. They changed it and made it so that way Casshern was actually a subordinate breaking boss, who is the bad guy in Casshern Sins. Casshern Sins made its English broadcast premiere on Funimation Channel on December 14, 2010. A manga adaptation was published in Jive's monthly comic Rush magazine. In the United States, the series began airing on Adult Swim's Toonami as part of its premiere on May 26, 2012. The story of Casshern Sins starts with a world where robots subjugate humanity after becoming self-aware. Their leader, Breaking Boss, ruled over the world with an iron fist. One day, a mysterious girl named Luna is summoned by the people in order to bring the salvation of mankind. Fearing her as a potential threat, Breaking Boss sent 3 of his most powerful cyborg warriors to dispose of Luna, one of these being Casshern. As the strongest warrior, he manages to track down Luna and kill her. However, this triggers a cataclysmic event which sets into motion the end of the world. Hundreds of years later, the world's atmosphere is filled with poison, and due to the inability of most remaining humans to reproduce, as well as the constant threat posed by the robots, humanity is on the brink of extinction. Robots find themselves rusting and withering away, just like the human race, which forces them to constantly have to replace their body parts. This is when Casshern reappears after the assassination of Luna. With no memory of what he has done, he must go on a journey to find out who he is. Overall, the main characters of the show are actually kind of dull. That's probably the only complaint I really have about this show, is the fact that the characters, with a few exceptions, are actually really boring. Ryuzu is probably the most interesting character, and this is actually a female robot who is actually pursuing Casshern out of revenge for the death of her sister. Because of Casshern, her sister ends up dying from rusting, and because of that, she is just filled with hate and pain for the loss of her sister. And when she finds out that it's actually Casshern who's at fault for the ruin, she makes it her goal to find him in order to kill him. Other than her though, really characters don't have much of a story. They don't have much of a background as much as she does. And most of the characters just feel really gray and not very interesting. They're there and they have a purpose, but it's not very well built. Now, the most controversial thing about this show is the animation. This show is a 2006 show, so if you were to compare that to other shows around this time, Code Geass, Hellgirl, Ergo Proxy, and even Witchblade, what you're going to realize is that the animation quality is not the same compared to these other shows. And a lot of people see this as not the most attractive thing. For me, however, I believe that this is about the show. This is the theme of the show. It's a show about rust and life itself draining away from the land. And because of that, it needs a dark and very old feeling theme. And the animation should reflect that. And I think they did a fantastic job. All the characters look like they're going to fall apart. They all look rusted. The only one that they actually took insane amount of detail on to get right was Casshern himself, which there's a reason for that. And because of that, I believe that they did a very good job with the animation, the way that they should have done it. They made this show the way that it was supposed to be done. And with those other shows, they're done the way that they're supposed to be done. Although they look better, that does not necessarily mean that this show is worth skipping. Just like the animation, this is probably the only time I'll ever say this, but the sound effects and the voice acting follow suit with the animation. To me, if you're going to make the animation far less quality than it deserves, then you should do the same with the others, on purpose of course. And so, what we have here is that we have voice acting that's about par, not the best that I've ever heard, but it's definitely good for this show. And then you have the sound effects, which I believe that the sound effects to anime is never really all that great. There's only a few shows that I will ever say have fantastic sound effects. The voice acting is very well done. Everyone plays the part very well, but no one plays it better than Monica Rial as Ringo. Now, if you don't know, Monica Rial is one of my all-time favorite voice actresses. I believe that she is by far one of the best voice actresses of our time, and it's because of the way that she can bring the part out where others kind of fail. In this case, if you compare Monica to the Japanese voice actress for Ringo, she brings out the joyfulness and just the ignorance of the character, and it's amazing. It's so well done.
My name is Ringo. My name is Ringo!
And to me, it brings out some of the most heart-wrenching moments of the show. Overall, Casshern Sins is a story about trying to make do in a world where nothing makes sense, where both humans and robots are both pretty much alike, and it tells a story about what is humanity and what does it really stand for as humans and robots alike fall apart together. And because of this, the show itself shows so many different themes to is it right to kill for the right reasons, all the way to can innocence live in a world where it knows nothing but killing. This show is amazing, and its dark themes and dark undertones are what make it. So honestly, I truly believe that you should watch the show, and I'm gonna have to give this a buy it badge. It's a great show, it deserves all the praise it can get, and with all of its flaws, you should definitely check it out. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button to get notifications on my next video. You can also watch my previous video where we look at ReZero's starting life in another world. You can also find me on these social medias down below. And also, make sure that you stay tuned for the next video when we talk about Sword Art Online. As always guys, thank you so much for being there, and I hope to see you next time. This has been Casshern. Stay excellent to each other guys.